When Derek kicks his ex-fiancée Elena in a luxury mall, he has no idea she's now married to Seoul's most dangerous underground king. 3 years ago, he left her pregnant, homeless, and broken. Now, as her powerful husband Kim Jae-won systematically destroys Derek's entire life, Elena transforms her pain into purpose by founding a refuge for abused women. This is a story of revenge, redemption, and rising from the ashes, proving that the woman he tried to destroy became absolutely unbreakable. Hey family, welcome to Real Life Heart Stories. Please subscribe and give this video a like. It truly means the world to us. Don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thank you so much for the support. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Elena's head snapped back as Derek's hand connected with her shoulder, sending her crashing into the designer display. Glass Christmas ornaments exploded around her like frozen tears. The marble floor was cold and unforgiving as she landed hard, her elbow splitting open against the metal edge of the stand. Pain shot through her arm, sharp and immediate. For 3 seconds, the entire Gangnam luxury mall went silent. Every shopper, every sales associate, every security guard froze. Elena looked up through the curtain of her hair at the man standing over her. Derek Wellington, her ex-fiancé. The man who had stolen everything from her 3 years ago. The man who had left her pregnant, homeless, and broken. He didn't recognize her. Not really. He saw some woman in a simple black dress, not the expensive designer labels everyone else wore in this luxury mall. He saw someone he could push around just like he always had. Stay down where you belong, you worthless piece of trash, Derek snarled, his face twisted with contempt. Some things never change. You're still pathetic. Elena's vision blurred. Blood trickled warm down her forearm, staining the sleeve of her dress. Her shopping bags lay scattered across the pristine marble floor. Around her, people gasped and pulled out their phones. But Derek had no idea who she was now. No idea about the diamond wedding ring hidden under her glove. No idea about the penthouse in Gangnam she'd left that morning. No idea about the black card in her purse with no credit limit. And Derek definitely had no idea about her husband, Kim Jae-won, Seoul's most dangerous underground king. Jin Woo, one of her bodyguards, moved fast. In 2 seconds, he had Derek face down on the floor, arm twisted behind his back. Taeyang, the other guard, was already on his phone, and Elena knew exactly who he was calling. Her hands shook as she reached for her own phone. Jae-won's name flashed on the screen. He always knew when something was wrong. It was like he had a sixth sense for when she needed him. Hello. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted. Are you hurt? His voice was deadly calm. That was worse than if he'd been yelling. When Jae-won was calm like this, it meant someone was about to have a very bad day. I'm okay. Just a scratch. Don't lie to me, Elena. Are you hurt? The steel in his voice made her shiver. She looked down at her bleeding elbow, at her torn dress, at the blood on the pristine marble floor. My elbow is bleeding. I fell, but I'm really fine. Security is here. Who touched you? Each word was deliberate, controlled. Elena closed her eyes. She could hear the ice in his voice, the fury he was barely containing. My ex-fiancé, Derek. But it's okay, security has him. Put Taeyang on the phone. Now. She handed her phone to Taeyang with trembling fingers. She watched his face go pale as he listened to whatever Jae-won was saying. He responded in rapid Korean, too fast for her to follow with her intermediate skills. She caught words like blood and injured and waiting. Then he handed the phone back, his expression a mixture of fear and something like pity for Derek. Baby, she said softly into the phone. I'm 8 minutes away, Jae-won said. Don't let him leave. If security tries to release him, tell them who you are. Use my name. They'll understand. Jae-won, please don't do anything crazy. He put his hands on you. He hurt you. His voice dropped even lower, barely above a whisper. There is no world in which that man walks away without consequences. Not from this. Not from you. The line went dead. Derek was shouting now, his face pressed against the marble. Let me go. She's crazy. I'll sue all of you. Do you know who my father is? His girlfriend. A woman in head-to-toe designer wear with a Chanel bag and Louboutin heels was screaming at the security guards. He didn't do anything wrong. That woman attacked him. You all saw it. She probably staged this whole thing. Ma'am, we have it on camera, one security guard said patiently, pointing up at the mall's surveillance system. We saw everything. Your boyfriend assaulted this woman. She's the victim here. Victim? The girlfriend laughed shrilly. Look at her. She's probably some gold digger trying to get money from Derek. This is clearly a setup. Elena sat there on the cold floor, her whole body shaking. 3 years. She'd thought she was over this. Thought she'd healed. Thought the therapy and the new life and the love of a good man had erased the scars. But seeing Derek brought it all back like a tidal wave, drowning her in memories. The pain. The betrayal. The nights crying in her car because she had nowhere else to go. The morning she woke up in a pool of blood, losing their baby completely alone in a charity hospital ward. Mall security helped her to her feet, their hands gentle but impersonal. An EMT appeared from somewhere, guiding her to a chair, cleaning her wound with practiced efficiency. But Elena barely felt any of it. All she could think about was that morning 3 years ago when Derek had simply vanished, taking every cent she had with him. She'd woken up to an empty apartment, empty closets, empty bank accounts, and a note that said he couldn't be tied down to a desperate woman and her trapped baby. Before we continue with what happens when J1 arrives, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's about to happen to Derek. This story is just getting started, and the revenge is going to be so satisfying. Ma'am, do you need us to call someone? The EMT asked, wrapping her elbow in clean white gauze. Family? A friend. My husband is already on his way, Elena said quietly, her voice steadier now. Derek heard that from where Jean Wu still held him down. His head jerked up, eyes wide. Husband? You actually found someone desperate enough to marry you? What did you do? Trap another poor fool with a fake pregnancy. The words hit Elena like physical blows, each one a knife twisting in old wounds. Jean Wu pressed Derek's face harder into the floor, making him grunt in pain. Sir, I strongly suggest you stop talking, Jean Wu said in heavily accented English, his voice cold and professional. Or what? You'll assault me too? Derek spat. I want to press charges against all of you, starting with that pathetic excuse for a woman. She's probably paying you. How much is she giving you to play this little game? Derek, stop, his girlfriend hissed, finally showing some sense. Let's just go. This isn't worth it. No, she needs to learn her place. Just like she needed to learn it 3 years ago when I left her worthless self behind. Derek's eyes found Elena's across the space between them. Did you tell your new husband about how clingy you are? How needy and desperate? Did you tell him you probably got pregnant on purpose to trap me? Elena felt tears burning in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not for him. Never again for him. Did you tell him you lived in your car because you were too pathetic to ask anyone for help? Derek continued, his voice rising. That you lost the baby because you couldn't take care of yourself? None of that was my fault. You were the problem. You've always been the problem. Security had moved them to a back office by the time J1 arrived. Elena heard him before she saw him. The sharp click of expensive shoes on marble. The immediate deference in everyone's voices. The way the air itself seemed to change, becoming heavier, more charged with tension. Then the door opened, and there he was. J1 was still in his 3-piece suit from his business meeting, charcoal gray with a subtle pinstripe, perfectly tailored to his frame. But there was nothing civilized about him now. His expression was carved from stone, jaw tight, eyes blazing. His eyes were black with fury, darker than she'd ever seen them. 6 of his men followed him, all armed, all wearing the same cold expression. They moved like a unit, like predators surrounding prey. But when J1 looked at Elena, his face softened just slightly. He crossed to her in 3 strides, his hands cupping her face with devastating gentleness that contrasted sharply with the violence radiating from every other part of his body. Let me see. It's just a scratch, she whispered, trying to smile for him. His eyes traveled over her torn dress, the bandage on her elbow, the tear tracks on her cheeks she thought she'd hidden. He took in every detail, cataloging every injury, every sign of distress. When he looked at her again, she saw murder in his eyes. "Which one is he?" Jae-won asked softly, his voice deadly calm. "Jae-won, please, can we just go home? Show me." It wasn't a request. Taeyang gestured toward the adjacent room where Derek waited with security. Through the glass window, Elena could see Derek pacing, still ranting, still angry, gesturing wildly as he spoke to the security supervisor. Still completely unaware of what was about to happen to him. Still thinking he was the victim in all this. Jae-won straightened, buttoning his suit jacket with controlled precision. Each movement was deliberate, careful. "Stay here. What are you going to do?" He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips, tender kisses that didn't match the violence simmering beneath his skin. "I'm going to have a conversation, man to man. It won't take long." Then he was gone, and Elena was left with a terrible certainty that Derek Wellington's life was about to change forever. Elena moved to the window despite Taeyang's gentle protest. She had to see this. Through the glass, she watched Jae-won enter the room where Derek waited. Derek looked up, annoyed at the interruption. "About damn time someone with actual authority showed up," Derek said loudly, his voice carrying through the glass. "I want that crazy woman arrested for harassment and assault. I want to press full charges against her and her hired thugs. I want them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Jae-won said nothing. He just walked closer, each step measured and deliberate. His men fanned out behind him, blocking the door. "Did you hear me?" Derek demanded, stepping forward aggressively. "I said I want to press charges. That woman is clearly mentally unstable, and she attacked me when I was just shopping peacefully with my fiancé. This is harassment. This is assault. And I want something done about it now." "Your name is Derek Wellington," Jae-won said. It wasn't a question. It was a statement of fact, delivered with absolute certainty. "Yeah, and who are you?" "Mall management, security supervisor." Derek crossed his arms, puffing up his chest. "Whoever you are, you need to get control of your facility. The fact that some homeless-looking woman can just attack paying customers is completely unacceptable. My father is a very influential man. One call from me and this place could lose significant business." "My name is Kim Jae-won," her husband said quietly, each word dropping like a stone into still water. "The woman you just put your hands on is my wife." The color drained from Derek's face. His arms dropped to his sides. "What? Do you understand what that means?" Jae-won continued in that same deadly calm voice. "Do you comprehend the magnitude of your mistake?" Derek took a step back, bumping into a chair. "Look, I didn't know she was married. I thought she was just some crazy ex who was stalking me. She's been following me around." "Stalking you?" Jae-won's voice dropped even lower. "Tell me, Derek, did she steal all your money 3 years ago? Did she leave you homeless and pregnant? Did she cause you to lose a child from stress and starvation?" Derek's mouth opened and closed. No sound came out. His face went from pale to red and back to pale again. "No." Jae-won took another step forward. "Because that's what you did to her. My wife. The woman I love more than my own life. The woman I would kill for without hesitation." "I can explain," Derek stammered, holding up his hands. "It's not what it looks like. She's lying. She's always been a liar." "Explain what?" "How you're a parasite who preys on vulnerable women. How you conned my wife out of every cent she had. How you left her to lose your child alone in a hospital charity ward." Jae-won's hand shot out, grabbing Derek by the throat, lifting him off the ground like he weighed nothing. "Or do you want to explain how you put your hands on her today? How you pushed her down? How you made her bleed?" Derek's feet kicked uselessly in the air. His face was turning red, then purple. His hands clawed at Jae-won's grip, but it was like trying to move iron. "Mr. Kim, please," one of the security supervisors said nervously, taking a hesitant step forward. "We should call the police. Let them handle this." Jae-won didn't even look at him. "The police won't be necessary. I'll handle this personally." He dropped Derek, who collapsed on the floor, gasping and coughing, hands clutching at his throat. Jae-won pulled out his phone, made one call, spoke 3 sentences in Korean, then hung up. 30 seconds later, the supervisor's radio crackled. Elena watched him listen, his face going pale, then nod quickly. The police have been notified it was a false alarm, the supervisor said quietly, backing away from the room. This was Jae-won's soul, his city, his kingdom, the place where his word was law and his reach extended into every corner. Derek was still coughing on the floor, trying to catch his breath. His girlfriend had backed into a corner, her phone clutched to her chest, her designer bag forgotten on the floor. Jae-won pulled up a chair and sat down, crossing his legs casually as if they were having coffee instead of ruining someone's life. He looked completely relaxed, but Elena could see the tension in his shoulders, the tightness around his eyes. "Let me tell you how this is going to work," Jae-won said, examining his nails as if they were the most interesting thing in the room. "In the next 20 minutes, my people will finish investigating every aspect of your life. Your finances, your relationships, your crimes. And yes, Derek, they are crimes. Theft, fraud, emotional abuse, abandonment of a pregnant woman. The list goes on. You can't just investigate me without permission," Derek wheezed, rubbing his throat. "That's illegal. I have rights. I can do anything I want. Do you know who I am? Really no. If you're enjoying this story, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me what you think Jae-won should do to Derek. Should he show mercy or make him pay? Let me know your thoughts below and let's continue." Some rich Korean businessman with a superiority complex? Derek tried to sound brave, but his voice shook. Jae-won smiled. It was terrifying, all teeth and no warmth. "I'm the man who owns this city. The man who controls more of Seoul than most people realize. Politicians take my calls. Police look the other way when I ask. Businesses thrive or fail based on my word. The man who can make you disappear with a single phone call and no one would ever find your body." He leaned forward. "And you just assaulted my wife. In public. On camera. In my city." Derek's girlfriend started crying, mascara running down her face in black streams. "Derek, what is he talking about? What did you do? You said your ex was crazy. You said she made everything up." "Nothing. He's lying. She's lying. Everyone's lying." Derek's voice cracked. Jae-won's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then smiled wider. "My team works fast. Derek Wellington, age 32, works at Wellington Investment Firm, owned by your father Richard Wellington. Current salary $275,000. Trust fund worth approximately $1.2 million. Engaged to Jessica Chen, daughter of the CEO of Chun Technologies. You proposed 3 months ago with a 5-carat diamond ring you bought with your trust fund money." He looked up. "Should I continue? How did you get that information?" Derek demanded, his bravado crumbling. "That's private. That's confidential. I told you. I own this city. There's nothing about you I can't find out." Jae-won scrolled through his phone. "But here's the interesting part. You've done this before. 3 other women before my wife. Amy Rodriguez, 2019, stole $43,000. Michelle Kim, 2020, stole $67,000. Sarah Williams, 2021, stole $91,000. You have a pattern, Derek. You find vulnerable women, women who are kind and trusting, make them fall in love with you, drain their bank accounts, and disappear." "That's not true," Derek said, but his voice shook. "They're all lying. All of them. It's all documented. Bank statements, emails, text messages, screenshots of your dating profiles. My people are very thorough." Jae-won stood up, towering over Derek's crumpled form. "So here's what happens now. By tomorrow morning, your fiancé will know everything about Elena. About the pregnancy you abandoned. About the money you stole. About the baby that died because you left her with nothing. She'll receive medical records, bank statements, everything." "Jessica, don't listen to him," Derek pleaded, crawling toward his girlfriend. "Baby, please. I love you. This is all a misunderstanding." But Jessica was already backing toward the door. "Is it true? Were you with another woman while you were dating me? While you were engaged to me?" "Baby, no, I can explain. It was before us. It doesn't matter now." "Were you?" Her voice rose, shrill and breaking. Just answer the question, Derek. Derek said nothing. That was answer enough. Jessica ran from the room, sobbing, her heels clicking frantically against the marble floor. By noon tomorrow, Jae-won continued as if nothing had happened. Your father will receive complete documentation of every theft, every lie, every crime. Your father's a good man, from what I understand. Built his business on integrity. How do you think he'll feel knowing his son is a con artist? Please, Derek whispered, don't do this. By evening, you'll be removed from the company. By next week, you'll be unemployable in your industry because I'll make sure everyone knows what you are. And by next month, you'll be broke because I'm freezing your trust fund and seizing every cent you stole from Elena and those other women. Derek lunged at Jae-won. It was stupid and desperate and exactly what Jae-won had been waiting for. One of Jae-won's men intercepted him easily, twisting his arm behind his back until he cried out in pain. The man forced Derek to his knees, holding him there effortlessly. You can't do this, Derek gasped, tears running down his face now. It's illegal. It's extortion. I'll sue you. My father will sue you. No, this is justice. Jae-won's voice was ice. You destroyed my wife's life. You left her homeless. You caused her to lose a child, our child, my child if I'd met her then. She starved. She suffered. She wanted to die. All while you spent her money on whatever meaningless pleasures you desired. So yes, Derek, I'm going to ruin your life systematically and completely. I'm going to take everything from you, piece by piece, the way you took everything from her. Your job, your family, your fiancé, your reputation, your money, all of it. He leaned down one more time, so close Derek could feel his breath. And every time you lose something, every time you feel desperate and hopeless and worthless, I want you to remember the woman you kicked in a mall today. I want you to remember that your destruction came because you were foolish enough to hurt someone I love. Because you were arrogant enough to think there would be no consequences. Jae-won straightened, addressing his men in Korean. They nodded, moving efficiently. One pulled out a tablet, fingers flying over the screen. Another made phone calls, speaking rapidly in Korean. The machine was already in motion. Wait! Marcus struggled to his feet, clutching his ribs where Jae-won had kicked him earlier. What are you doing? You can't just... I can do anything I want. Jae-won buttoned his suit jacket. Welcome to my world, Derek. Enjoy your stay. It's going to last the rest of your life. He walked to the door, then paused. Oh, and one more thing. The money you stole from Elena? Every single cent is being returned to her by end of business Friday, with interest and compensation for pain and suffering. Should total around $127,000. The same applies to the other women you conned. You'll be paying them back too. Consider it the cost of your education in consequences. Please, Derek begged, dropping to his knees. I'm sorry. I'll apologize to her. I'll do whatever you want. Just please don't destroy my life. Your apology means nothing. Your remorse is worthless. It comes only from fear, not from genuine understanding of what you did. Jae-won walked to the door. Stay away from my wife. If I ever see you near her again, if you so much as breathe in her direction or think her name, I will consider it an act of aggression, and I will respond accordingly. And trust me, Derek, my response will be permanent. He left without another word. Derek's sobs echoed behind him, mixing with the click of Jae-won's shoes as he walked away. Behind him, a man's entire world was crumbling in real time, and he couldn't do a single thing to stop it. When Jae-won returned to Elena, his expression immediately softened. The monster disappeared, replaced by the man who loved her more than anything. The transformation was instant and complete. Are you ready to go home? He asked gently, gathering her carefully into his arms as if she was made of glass. She should have felt guilty, should have protested, should have told him what he'd done was too much, was cruel, was excessive. But looking at him, remembering everything Derek had taken from her, everything he'd destroyed, all the nights she'd cried herself to sleep in her car, she felt only relief. Yes, she whispered, take me home. He carried her out of the mall like she weighed nothing, cradling her against his chest. Behind them, Derek's world was already beginning to crumble. Phone calls being made, documents being sent, And Elena let herself feel something she hadn't allowed herself in 3 years. Vindication. Sweet, complete vindication. The drive home was silent. J1 held her hand the entire time, his thumb tracing circles on her palm, his jaw still tight with residual anger. Elena watched Seoul pass by through tinted windows, the Christmas lights blurring into streams of color. The city looked beautiful, peaceful, completely unaware of the war that had just been waged in one of its luxury malls. "I canceled our dinner reservation," he said quietly. "That's okay. I'll cook for you instead, or we can order whatever you want. Korean, Italian, anything. I just want to be with you." His hand tightened on hers. "You have me, always, forever." When they arrived at the penthouse, Jae-won dismissed the staff with a few quiet words in Korean, sent his guards to their posts, and led Elena to their bedroom. He unzipped her torn dress carefully, his fingers gentle on her skin, avoiding her injuries. "Shower with me," he asked softly. "Let me take care of you." Under the hot water, he washed her hair, his hands massaging her scalp with slow, soothing circles. He cleaned her wounded elbow with careful attention, his touch feather-light. He pressed kisses to her shoulders, her neck, her temple. No urgency, no demand, just pure tenderness. Just love in its simplest, most healing form. "I'm sorry," Elena whispered against his chest. He turned her to face him, water streaming between them. "For what?" "For never telling you the full story about Derek. For keeping it from you. For letting him affect me so much today. For being weak." "Stop." His hands cupped her face, forcing her to look at him. "You have nothing to apologize for. Nothing. You're not weak. You survived something devastating, something that would have broken most people. And you're allowed to still carry scars. You're allowed to hurt. Trauma doesn't have an expiration date." Tears mixed with shower water. "I thought I was over it. I thought I'd healed. I thought I was stronger than this. Healing isn't linear, my love. It's messy and complicated, and sometimes we take steps backward before we move forward again. But you're not alone anymore. You don't have to carry this by yourself. I've got you. I'll always have you. Always." They stood there for a long time, just holding each other under the water, until Elena's trembling stopped and her breathing evened out, until she felt safe again in his arms. Later, wrapped in soft robes, they sat on their bedroom balcony overlooking Seoul. The city sparkled below them like a carpet of stars. Jae-won had ordered her favorite food, Korean fried chicken and tteokbokki from a place in Itaewon that she loved, and opened a bottle of expensive wine that probably cost more than her first car. "Eat," he encouraged, putting the best pieces on her plate. "You need your strength. You haven't eaten all day." She managed a few bites, more to please him than from actual hunger. Her stomach was still in knots. "What happens now? With Derek?" Jae-won's expression hardened slightly. By tomorrow morning, his fiancée will have broken off their engagement. By noon, his father will have removed him from the company. By evening, his trust fund will be frozen pending investigation into fraudulent activities. Within a week, he'll be unemployable anywhere in his industry. Within a month, he'll be broke. "You did all that in 3 hours? I made some calls. I have resources, and I have people who are very good at what they do." He paused. "I also found the other 3 women he conned. They'll receive full restitution as well. With interest. They deserve justice too." Elena set down her chopsticks. "Do you think it's too much? Do you want me to stop?" "I will if you ask me to." Did she? Derek had destroyed her life without a second thought. Had left her to suffer while he moved on to his next victim. She'd rebuilt herself through sheer willpower, but the scars remained. The pain remained. And now he'd physically hurt her, proven he hadn't changed at all. "No," she said softly, meeting his eyes. "I don't want you to stop." "Good." Satisfaction gleamed in his eyes. "Because I wasn't going to." 3 days later, Elena's phone wouldn't stop ringing. She turned it off twice, but the notifications kept coming when she turned it back on. Text messages flooded in from people she hadn't spoken to in years. When she finally looked, her stomach dropped. The mall security footage had gone viral. 17 million views. The entire confrontation was online for the world to see. But worse than that, someone had exposed Derek's entire history. Bank statements showing the money he'd stolen from her and the other women. Medical records from her miscarriage. Testimonies from Amy, Michelle, and Sarah. His engagement announcement to Jessica next to a detailed timeline proving he'd been dating her while still taking Elena's money. Everything was out there for public consumption. J1, she called out, her voice shaking. Everyone knows everything. Everything about us, about Derek, about the baby. It's all online. He came in from his office, completely calm, not surprised at all. I know. You leaked it. My team might have shared some information with select journalists. He sat beside her, taking the phone from her hands. Look at the comments. Really look at them. She scrolled through thousands of messages. Almost all were supportive, angry on her behalf, celebrating her survival. That man is trash. She deserves so much better and she found it. A mafia boss husband who actually protects his wife and gets revenge? That's real love right there. The way he carried her out of that mall. I'm crying. That's how a man should treat his wife. Derek Wellington trending for being a con artist and abuser. Good. Rot in hell, buddy. Elena, if you see this, you're a queen. Hold your head high. The fact that he kicked a pregnant woman he abandoned and then got shocked when her powerful husband ruined his life. The audacity of this man. The internet loves you, J1 said quietly, and they're destroying Derek for you. You're not alone in this. The whole world is on your side. By the end of the week, Derek's life was completely dismantled, torn apart piece by piece. Jessica had posted a scathing breakup message that went viral, detailing her own discovery of Derek's lies. Wellington investment firm released a statement firing Derek immediately and apologizing to his victims. 3 major news outlets ran exposés on his pattern of abuse. He was trending on social media for all the wrong reasons. On the 4th day, Derek issued a public apology. Elena watched the video with J1 beside her on their couch, his arm around her shoulders. Derek looked terrible, haggard, broken. His eyes were sunken, his skin pale. He read from a prepared statement, his hands shaking. I want to apologize to Elena Kim, formerly Elena Thompson, for the immeasurable pain and suffering I caused her. I was cruel, selfish, and abusive. I stole from her when she trusted me. I abandoned her when she was pregnant and vulnerable. I caused her to lose our child through my callous actions. And I physically assaulted her when she had done nothing to deserve it. He looked directly into the camera, and Elena could see J1's influence in every word. There is no excuse for my behavior. No justification. I was wrong. Completely, utterly wrong. I'm sorry to Amy Rodriguez, Michelle Kim, and Sarah Williams, the other women I hurt with the same pattern of abuse. I'm entering therapy to address my issues. I'm paying full restitution to all my victims. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to make amends, though I know I can never truly repair the damage I've caused. He paused, swallowing hard. To Mr. Kim, I apologize for hurting your wife. I understand now the magnitude of my actions and accept full responsibility for the consequences. I deserve everything that's happening to me. The video ended. Elena turned off her phone and looked at J1, who was watching her carefully. It's done, she said quietly. How do you feel? J1 asked, his hand gentle on her face. Lighter, like I've been carrying this massive weight for 3 years and finally put it down. Like I can breathe fully for the first time. She leaned into his touch. Thank you. He pulled her close, pressing a kiss to her hair. You never have to thank me for protecting you. That's not a favor. That's a promise I made when I married you. 2 weeks later, on Christmas Eve, Elena received a notification from her bank. $127,000 had been deposited into her account. Every cent Derek had stolen, plus interest, plus compensation for pain and suffering. She stared at the number, remembering the girl who'd had $17 and a prayer. That girl felt like someone from another lifetime. What will you do with it? J1 asked, reading over her shoulder. An idea had been forming for days, growing stronger. I want to start a foundation for women who've been financially abused by partners. Help them get back on their feet. Provide resources, housing, job training, therapy. Everything I wish I'd had. Everything that could have saved me so much suffering. J1's smile was brilliant, lighting up his whole face. I think that's perfect. I'll match whatever you put in and help you set it up. We'll make it happen. You don't have to do that. I want to. He pulled her close. We'll call it the Second Chances Foundation. Because everyone deserves a chance to rebuild, to start over, to rise from the ashes. 3 months later, the Second Chances Foundation opened its doors. The building in Itaewon was beautiful, modern, and welcoming. 3 floors of hope. Housing for 20 women, job training facilities, therapy offices, a childcare center, and a community kitchen. Everything designed to help women rebuild their lives. Elena stood at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Jae-won beside her in a perfectly tailored suit, cameras flashing from every direction. Local news had come. International press too. This was a story people wanted to hear. This foundation exists because I lived this experience, she said into the microphone, her voice steady and strong. I know what it's like to have nothing, to be abandoned by someone you trusted with your heart and your future, to lose everything and wonder if you'll ever be whole again, if you'll ever feel safe again. But I also know that with support, resources, and belief in yourself, you can rise. You can rebuild. You can thrive. She looked at Jae-won, whose eyes were bright with pride. I had to do it alone. But the women who come through these doors won't have to. We'll be here for every step of their journey. For as long as they need us. The first resident moved in that afternoon. A woman named Mina with 2 young kids, left homeless after her husband emptied their accounts and vanished. Elena helped her unpack in her new apartment, sharing her own story, offering hope from someone who'd walked this path. You really came back from all that? Mina asked through tears, her youngest child sleeping against her shoulder. You really rebuilt your whole life? I did, Elena said firmly. And you will too. I promise you. This isn't the end of your story. It's just a chapter. A hard chapter, but not the end. That night, back at the penthouse, Elena's phone buzzed as she and Jae-won prepared for bed. An email from an unknown address. She almost deleted it, her finger hovering over the button, but something made her open it. It was from Derek. Her heart stopped. Her breath caught in her throat. What is it? Jae-won asked immediately, noticing her expression. He always noticed everything. Derek emailed me. His expression darkened instantly. What does it say? She read it aloud, her voice shaking slightly. Elena, I know I have no right to contact you. I know I don't deserve any response or even a moment of your time. But I saw the news about your foundation, and I wanted to say I'm proud of you. You took the worst thing I ever did, the worst pain I ever caused, and turned it into something beautiful and meaningful. That's who you always were, even when I was too selfish and blind to see it. Someone who found light in darkness. I'm sorry. I was too broken and selfish to recognize what I had. I'm in therapy now, really trying to change, really trying to become a better person. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I wanted you to know that you deserved better than me. You deserved better than how I treated you. And I'm glad you found it. I hope you're happy. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Derek. Silence filled the room, heavy and contemplative. How do you feel? Jae-won asked carefully, watching her face. Elena thought about it. Really thought about it. 3 months ago, seeing Derek's name would have sent her into a panic attack. Would have brought back all the trauma, all the pain. Now, reading his words, she felt nothing. No anger. No pain. No bitterness. No satisfaction. Just nothing. Complete, peaceful nothing. I feel free, she said finally, setting her phone down. Like that chapter of my life is completely closed. Like he's a character in a story I once read. But he has no power over me anymore. Do you want to respond? It's your choice. I'll support whatever you decide. No, there's nothing to say. He's part of my past, a painful part, but still the past. And I'm focused on my future. On our future. She deleted the email without another thought and set down her phone. Besides, I have everything I need right here. Jae-won pulled her into his arms, holding her close. I love you, my phoenix, my fighter, my everything. I love you too, my protector, my partner, my home. They stood there in their bedroom, the Seoul skyline glittering outside like a million promises. holding each other and the beautiful future they were building together. Elena had been broken, abandoned, destroyed, left for dead in every way that mattered. But she'd risen from those ashes. She'd rebuilt herself stronger than before. And in rising, she'd found love, purpose, and a power she never knew she possessed. The power to transform pain into hope, to turn tragedy into triumph. Not just for herself, but for every woman who would walk through her foundation's doors. Derek had kicked her in that mall, thinking she was still the broken woman he'd left behind. Thinking she was still weak, still vulnerable, still nothing. He couldn't have been more wrong. She was Elena Kim now, wife to Seoul's underground king, founder of a movement that would help hundreds of women rebuild their lives. A survivor who refused to let her story end in tragedy. A woman who took her darkest moment and transformed it into light for others. And as Jae-won kissed her deep and sweet and full of promise, she knew with absolute certainty that this was just the beginning. Her foundation would grow. Her impact would spread. And she would spend the rest of her life helping other women find the strength she'd found. The strength they already had inside them, just waiting to be discovered. Derek had tried to destroy her. Instead, he'd forged her into something unbreakable. If you made it to the end of the story, thank you so much for watching. Your support means everything. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Afro-Korean romance stories, and comment below telling me what you thought about Elena and Jae-won's love story. What should our next story be about? Should we do more Mafia romance, forbidden love, or something completely different? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, keep believing in second chances and the power of love to heal all wounds. See you in the next video.